In this month's podcast, we present Henry Winkler, an actor, director, producer, and New York Times bestselling author. Born October 30th, 1945 in New York City, Henry began performing at 14. A 1970 graduate of the Yale School of Drama, he headed to Los Angeles in 1973 and quickly found work in commercials and TV, including a small role in The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Of course, he became a household name when Gary Marshall and Tom Miller cast him as Arthur Fonzarelli, aka the Fonz, or Fonzie, in the TV series Happy Days. During his 10 years on the series from 1974 through 1984, Henry won 2 Golden Globe Awards and earned 3 Emmy Award nominations. He was also honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. With a popular show like Happy Days on the air while Ronald Reagan was president, the show's actors were invited to multiple events at the White House. Of course, that included Henry Winkler. On February 27, 1983, an evening was held at the 20th Century Fox Studios to honor Queen Elizabeth. With President Reagan back in Washington, D.C., Mrs. Reagan was the evening's host, and she greeted Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip when they arrived. Henry Winkler also attended and was seated at table 17. Michael York also sat at his table. Other famous celebrities at that dinner included Charlton Heston, Michael Caine, Frank Sinatra, Elton John, Tina Turner, Ginger Rogers, Fred Astaire, George Burns, Dean Martin, Rod Stewart, Michael Landon, and many others. Although that event may not have included President Reagan, Henry Winkler did attend an event on November 13, 1984, at the White House in honor of the state dinner for the Grand Duke and Grand Duchess of Luxembourg. It was there he met President Reagan. Other famous names at that dinner included Charlton Heston, Ted Koppel, and Jim Nabors.
Your Royal Highnesses, on behalf of the American people, Nancy and I welcome you to the United States.
Henry Winkler also attended a September 26, 1985, Entertainment Industries Council dinner with Mrs. Reagan. And on July 3, 1986, in honor of the 100th celebration of the Statue of Liberty's unveiling in New York, President and Mrs. Reagan were on hand on Liberty Island to unveil the restored Lady Liberty.
Keeping faith with a dream of long ago and guiding millions still to a future of peace and freedom. Now we will unveil that gallant lady.
In a September 2017 interview Henry Winkler did with Hugh Hewitt, Hugh asked Henry if he had ever met Ronald Reagan, and Henry simply responded, "I did meet him. I thought he was lovely." We would be remiss if we didn't note that as Happy Days came to an end, Henry Winkler stayed busy in Hollywood. In fact, just a few years after Happy Days ended, Henry helped develop the original ABC series MacGyver. Although he's acted in so many projects since Happy Days, he's most recognized for Night Shift, The Waterboy, Arrested Development, Parks and Recreation, and of course, Barry. He has won 19 awards and has almost 50 nominations to his name, most notably winning an Emmy in 2018 for his work as a supporting actor in Barry. On January 30th, 1981, just 9 days after President Reagan took office, Henry Winkler received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. To date, he and co-author Lynn Oliver have written 33 children's novels. The books were inspired by Henry's struggle throughout his education due to his learning challenges. And although they may not be tied, we thought this was a fun artifact from our archives. A button sent to President Reagan with the words "Here" and "Reagan" tied together, so that the button reads, "Happy Days are here again." Thank you for watching.
Don't forget that when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified every time new videos and podcasts are added to our site, including our Reagan and Friends, Words to Live By, and Reagan Forum podcasts. And don't forget to follow @Ronald Reagan on Facebook and Twitter, as well as @Reagan Foundation on Instagram and YouTube.